The Gospel of Mark, brothers and sisters, is a beautiful gospel to read, especially if you're learning about discipleship. Last Sunday, Jesus spoke for the first time in the Gospel of Mark about his impending Paschal mystery, and Peter, out of probably good intention, prayed that Jesus be spared of this unimaginable suffering, because the Messiah that they were expecting is a victorious Messiah, just like the Roman emperor or the kings that ruled them. This was alien to their understanding that the Messiah would suffer and be a servant. And that is what Jesus is trying to tell them. And corollary or integral to our understanding of who Jesus is our understanding also of who we are. If Jesus suffered and died, so will we. But the disciples of the Lord did not hear that part and do not want to hear about the suffering and death of the Lord. In fact, in our gospel today, because they knew that maybe to console themselves, knowing that Jesus will die in Jerusalem, they made a succession plan. But the thing about their succession plan is that Jesus is not part of the plan. It's about themselves. They're competing among themselves who is the greatest. And what did this lead to? Arguing. This reminds me, brothers and sisters, of a very common situation in the Philippines. Maybe this is true also here. When the parents are wasting away, dying, instead of helping each other, the siblings quarrel about who's the greatest among them. Because one sibling would say, I made so many sacrifices for Dad. Maybe I should inherit the ancestral house. And because you're already rich, then maybe you don't deserve anymore a parcel of our farm. Who's the greatest? In fact, to the point sometimes where, because of misunderstanding among siblings, they can't agree how to bury their parents. This happened to me once. One family booked a funeral. But then the daughter had an argument with her aunt and uncle that the funeral that they booked with a priest, they canceled because they'll just have the funeral by themselves. They'll pray for their father and maybe sprinkle holy water by themselves. So you see, brothers and sisters, and this is very true also in the second reading we have from St. James. Very clear, very straightforward. Wherever you find jealousy and ambition, you find disharmony and wicked things of every kind being done. Very true of our affairs, no? But, and then he proceeds to the second paragraph. Where do these wars and battles between yourselves first start? Isn't it precisely in the desires fighting inside your own selves? And this even affects our way of praying. And so I invite our teenagers to read the last sentence of our second reading today. Maybe it's not just for teenagers, but for young adults who still think like teenagers. Why you don't have what you want is because you don't pray for it. When you do pray and don't get it, it is because you have not prayed properly. You have prayed for something to indulge your own desires. This is one of the reasons why some of our young people abandon their belief in God, because their understanding of God is like that of a slot machine or a lotto ticket. That when you buy 5 lotto tickets, on the 5th or on the 6th, you expect to win. And then when God does not give you what you pray for, you abandon the idea of God already and start to live on your own. very much like our first reading as well. I find it strange that our first reading is how vicious people think, and the righteous man does not say anything. But at the end of this first reading, we say, "This is the word of the Lord, thanks be to God." Thanks be to God for the thinking of vicious people, where they plot to condemn the righteous man. Brothers and sisters, we cannot avoid the cross. The cross is part of our life. The cross is part of our identity. And whereas last Sunday, Jesus gives us that image of a stone that can be used as a foundation or can be an obstacle, the reason for people to trip because they see that stone, and for the apostles or the disciples of the Lord, it was the cross. The image that the Lord gives us today is that of little children, a little child. Anyone who welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me. And anyone who welcomes me welcomes not me, but the one who sent me. I invite you, brothers and sisters, to look once again with the eyes of God at our infants, our toddlers. They are quite secure, they're very happy, they're careless because they know that they are well taken care of. How do you say it correctly? That their parents will look after them. And I believe if you scroll through your social media, the joy of children is quite infectious. It's an innocent kind of joy that warms the heart. And it's a sincere, they just have this natural way of humoring us in a way that reminds us of what true humor should be. It's real and it's relational. And so, brothers and sisters, today, let's surrender our cares before the Lord. The cares that make us ambitious, greedy, that make us jealous and cause disharmony and wicked things. And let us pray maybe with the heart of Jesus, with the heart of a child, confident that the Father will give what is right at the right time. And if the Lord does not give us what we want, maybe the Lord is, just like St. Augustine would say, preparing our hearts and our hands for a much bigger gift that God will give us at the right time.